Oke, selamat datang kembali di tutorial Oracle basis data lanjut. Perkenalkan, saya Imam Malafi Insani dengan NRP 32 dari kelas 2D3 ITB dengan dosen Larengga Asmara Eskom OCA. Okay, before we begin anything such as eating, going out, writing, reading, wearing clothes, we must say Bismillah in the name of Allah. So, what's the objective of this slide? After completing this lesson, you should be able to do the following. Number one is distinguish between an implicit and an explicit cursor. Discuss when and why to use an explicit cursor. Use a PL/SQL record variable. Write a cursor for loop. About cursors, every SQL statement executed by the Oracle server has an individual cursor associated with it. Number one is implicit cursor, declared for all DML and PL/SQL select statements. Explicit cursor, declared and named by the programmer. And then explicit cursor functions. This is the example of explicit cursor function. And then this is the controlling explicit cursor. So number one is we must declare, create a name SQL area, and then open, identify the active set, and then fetch, load the current row into variable, and then there is occasion. This is an empty one or no. So if the empty one, so we must go to close, release the active set, and if the answer is no, we come back to fetch and load the current row into variable. So the empty section in here, the function of it is test for existing rows and return to fetch if rows are found. And controlling explicit cursor, open the cursor. Number one is this is open the cursor and then close the cursor, fetch a row using the cursor and continue until empty, and fetch a row. And then declaring the cursor, the example is cursor name is select statement. Do not include the into clause in the cursor declaration. If processing rows in a specific sequence is required, use the order by clause in the query. Declaring the cursor, the example is declare cursor emp cursor is select employee ID last name from employees, cursor depth cursor is select from where and then begin. And then how to opening the cursor. This is the way to opening the cursor. The syntax is open cursor name. Open the cursor to execute the query and identify the active set. If the query returns no rows, no exception is raised. Use cursor attributes to test the outcome after a fetch. And then fetching data from the cursor. The syntax is fetch cursor name into variable and record name. Retrieve the current row values into variables. Include the same number of variables. Match each variable to correspond to the column positionally. Test to see whether the cursor contains rows. And then this is the example of fetching data from the cursor. Loop fetch emp cursor into vmno vename exit when and then process the retrieved data and end loop. Closing the cursor, and then the syntax is close cursor name. Close the cursor after completing the processing of the rows. Reopen the cursor if required. Do not attempt to fetch data from a cursor after it has been closed. And then explicit cursor attributes. Obtain status information about the cursor. Attribute person is open and the type is Boolean. Description evaluates to true if the cursor is open. And then the attribute of person found, the type is Boolean. Description evaluates to true if the most recent fetch does not return a row. And the attribute of person found, the type is Boolean, and the description is evaluates to true if the most recent fetch returns a row. Complement of person found, and the attribute person row count, type number. The description is evaluated to the total number of rows returned so far. The person is open attribute. Fetch rows only when the cursor is open. Use the person is open cursor attribute before performing a fetch to test whether the cursor is open. This is the example. If no emp cursor is open, then open emp cursor and if. And then we do the loop section. Okay, next, controlling multiple fetch. Process several rows from an explicit cursor using a loop. Fetch a row with each iteration, and use explicit cursor attributes to test the success of each fetch. The person found and person row count attributes. Use the person row count cursor attribute to retrieve an exact number of rows. Use the person found cursor attribute to determine when to exit the loop. So this is the example. Declare vmno employees.employee underscore id person type v underscore ename employees last name person type cursor emp underscore cursor is select employee id last name from employees begin open emp cursor loop fetch emp underscore cursor into v underscore mno and v underscore ename exit when emp cursor percent row count more than 10 or emp underscore cursor present not found, and then we print the result to the screen with the dbms underscore output dot put underscore line to char vmno, and we end the loop and close the emp cursor, and we end the query. So cursor and records. Process the rows of the active set by fetching values into a PLSQL record. Declare cursor emp cursor is select employee ID last name from employees emp record emp cursor person row type begin open emp underscore cursor loop fetch emp underscore cursor into emp underscore record. And then cursor for loops. This is the syntax of cursor for loops. For record underscore name in cursor underscore name loop statement, and you can write the statement in here, and then you can end the loop. The cursor for loop is a shortcut to process explicit cursors. Implicit open, fetch, exit, and close occur. The record is implicitly declared. And then cursor for loops. Print a list of the employees who work for the sales department. Declare cursor emp underscore cursor is select last name department ID from employees. Begin for emp underscore record in emp underscore cursor loop. Implicit open and implicit fetch occur. If emp record department ID is 80, then you can write the statement in here, and this is the end of the loop. This is the beginning of the loop in here, and this is the end of the loop. Cursor for loops using subqueries. No need to declare the cursor. The example is begin for emp underscore record in select last name department ID from employees loop, and this is the implicit open and implicit fetch occur. So if emp underscore record department ID is active, then you can write the statement in here, and this is the end of the loop. Okay, it's so very different, looks more simple. And okay, this is the summary. In this lesson, you should have learned to distinguish cursor types. A. Implicit cursors used for all DML statements, and single row queries, and explicit cursor used for queries of 0, 1, or more rows, and manipulate explicit cursor. Evaluate the cursor status by using cursor attributes. Oke, sudah selesai penjelasannya tadi tentang kursor. Dan sekarang kita menuju ke latihan soal. Soal yang pertama, jalankan skrip berikut ini untuk membuat tabel baru dengan nama top underscore docs yang menyimpan gaji atau salary dari pegawai. Jadi di sini kita buat create table top docs, salary, dan bla 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 di sini. Fungsinya di sini untuk membuat tabel baru. Oke, kita lanjut saja ke selanjutnya. Yang kedua, buat program PLSQL untuk menyimpan data N pegawai yang memiliki gaji tertinggi. Misalkan, N diinputkan nilainya sama dengan 5, berarti menampilkan 5 pegawai yang memiliki gaji tertinggi. Keterangannya, gunakan perintah define untuk menyimpan nilai N. Lewatkan nilainya pada blok PLSQL block melalui variabel substitusi ISQL+. Jika dua pegawai memiliki gaji yang sama, maka nilai gaji cukup disimpan sekali saja. Simpan nilai gaji dalam tabel top underscore docs. Uji program dengan memasukkan nilai N yang tidak umum, misal N sama dengan 0 atau N lebih dari jumlah pegawai dalam tabel employees. Kosongkan isi tabel sebelum diisi dengan N nilai gaji tertinggi. Oke. Oke, dan berikut ini merupakan hasil query-nya. Yang nomor pertama tadi kita membuat suatu tabel yang bernama top underscore docs, dan alhamdulillah tabel created. Dan yang kedua kita membuat program untuk menyimpan data N pegawai, dan kodenya seperti ini. Dan hasilnya, dan di sini yang diminta adalah yang memiliki gaji tertinggi. Jadi misalkan N diinputkan nilainya 5, berarti menampilkan 5 pegawai yang memiliki gaji tertinggi. Di sini kita masukkan 6. Oh enggak, maksud saya 5. Dengan gaji tertinggi di tabel employees. Oke, sudah. Kemudian soal yang ketiga. Buat program PLSQL untuk menampilkan data pegawai, last name, salary, dan manager ID yang bekerja di departemen tertentu. Tentukan nomor departemennya, letakkan dalam variabel substitusi jika gaji pegawai kurang dari 5.000, dan jika manajer ID sama dengan 101 atau 124, tampilkan pesan, gaji perlu dinaikkan. Jika tidak, tampilkan pesan, gaji tidak perlu dinaikkan. Keterangannya, ketik set echo off, supaya tidak perlu menampilkan kode PLSQL setiap kali menjalankan program. Jadi di sini, untuk kita di sini disuruh untuk membuat suatu program yang menampilkan data berupa last name, salary, dan manager ID. Kemudian jika gaji pegawai kurang dari 5.000 dan jika manager ID-nya 101 atau 124, kita harus menampilkan pesan gaji perlu dinaikkan. Tapi jika tidak, kita harus menampilkan pesan gaji tidak perlu dinaikkan. Oke. Ini merupakan hasil query-nya. Kita sudah men-set echo-nya menjadi off. Oke, sudah. Jadi di sini sudah terlihat siapa saja yang perlu naik gaji dan siapa saja yang perlu tidak naik gaji. Misalkan Free nih gajinya tidak perlu untuk dinaikkan. Berarti dia manajer ID-nya bukan 101 atau 102 dan 124. Serta mungkin gajinya sudah lebih dari 5.000. Kemudian yang perlu dinaikkan misalkan Raj gajinya perlu dinaikkan, jadi dia sesuai dengan perintah di sini. Jika gajinya kurang dari 5.000 dan manajer ID-nya mungkin 101 atau 124, maka dia perlu untuk dinaikkan gajinya. Oke. Dan alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin sudah selesai praktikum kali ini. Semoga bermanfaat dan terima kasih sudah menyaksikan.